So, the Sinai Desert map. Some people love it, some people are like, eh, and some people really don't like it. Somebody even went as far to create a straw poll to get DICE to change the map to St. Quentin's Scar, the one that was in the closed alpha. I don't think that person knows how game development really works. That would literally take weeks to turn something like that around. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the Sinai Desert map today and something that I think needs tweaking. The E flag, right out in the center of the desert. I'm not the only one who thinks this point needs some work. A lot of players are leaving feedback in the forum suggesting their own ideas to make this flag feel a little bit more valuable. At its closest point, the E flag is over 500 meters away from the next objective, and that's a solid 1 to 2 minutes of running. Really not very entertaining. And considering DICE were trying to shorten the engagement distances in Battlefield 1, this decision kind of goes directly against that. You can take a vehicle or a horse over there for sure, but as we already know, there's not a huge amount of those just laying around the battlefield. You can't just jump into a vehicle and go driving off to the next objective. They are strategically placed. In terms of an infantry location, it's not much more than a game of cat and mouse or hide and seek, as the footage in the background today shows that perfectly. I was able to attack, then contest, and eventually take the objective over the course of about 8 minutes, with the help of mainly just one squad mate. Enemies would spawn in, but maybe only 2 or 3 at the most, and they'd attempt to take it back. Compare that to the amount of people who are trying to take the objectives at the north of the map in the town, and there is a massive difference. In terms of vehicle combat, I've only encountered 2 tanks in 2 matches so far being present at the flag. And I've pumped 14 hours into the beta already, and for this video specifically, I spent about an hour and a half getting this gameplay. And obviously this is a very good section of it, but, you know, sometimes you'll go over there and you'll just die and have to respawn again, and it takes a long time to get there. That's a very low number of vehicles, considering this point is perfect for tank playstyles. It's open and expansive, the capture area itself is massive, so it'd be easy to just roll in, cap the flag, and then move on. The planes in the sky, they can capture the point in the air. It's the only point on the map where they have this facility, and I assume that that's one of the most popular ways to actually capture it. Referencing back to my gameplay again, it's clear that infantry have very little want to actually be here. So how can you go about fixing this problem then? Well, firstly, I'd say pulling the flag in closer towards the D capture point, the train station, would be a good start. When there's a natural path between conquest points, you'll find a flow of gameplay that exists there. And currently, it's not natural to divert to the E point. There's no clear path to take to it. No route for ground vehicles directly, and it's even worse for infantry as they're completely exposed as they try to travel there. I'm sure the intention to travel to the E point is to use ground vehicles. It is a very long way away, but right now there isn't enough ground vehicles or horses for you just to be able to grab one and go over there. If the E flag was closer to the action, you'd see a flow going backwards and forwards between the D point and E, therefore making it a more desirable flag to capture. Not only that, but the tank hunter class would perhaps be used in its correct fashion, being closer to where the tanks actually are on the map and not having to run 500 plus meters to get in range of one. I think the flag structure as well would benefit from being a little bit more robust. There are only 2 half-destroyed buildings and some soft cover there right now, and increasing the density of that I think would lead to more action taking place here. Look to the north of the map again where you see the B, C and D flags all encapsulated within the town. Maybe take a quarter of that building density and place it on the E point, and suddenly you have again another point balanced for all different types of gameplay. You've got a central road that goes through the middle of the buildings for vehicles to use, like tanks and light armor, houses with destruction and vertical gameplay for infantry to battle it out in, and the large capture radius extending up into the sky, allowing planes to have an influence on the fight going on below. It's all about creating a want to go and capture the point. If the flag was more substantial in its structure, I think people would be more inclined to actually travel the distance to go and capture it. But then again, there's little point making the flag more robust and then still leaving it 500 meters out from the rest of the game. Both the distance of the flag and the structure of it, I feel, need to be changed to make it more worthwhile. The rest of the map to me is an all-out Battlefield style map, and I think it works very, very well. I was talking about the flow of gameplay. There's definitely a flow from A through to B, onto C and D in the town centre, through the canyon for F, and then G behind it. It works very well there. But E is just completely left out on its own, the poor thing. Don't get me wrong, I understand DICE's intentions of trying to create this pivot point on the map, that lone flag that could sway the battle if the teams are locked even in a game of conquest. But for me, it's just too far away and too weak of a capture point to really have any sway on the matches at all, or at least from my point of view, I haven't noticed it being a pivot point. The flag needs some love. It's all out there on its own with no friends. Forever alone, DICE please, give E some love. The flag just wants to be like all of the other flags. Thanks very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Maybe tell me how you'd like to change the map to make it feel better. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.